Located in one of the world's most scenic courses, the race starts with a 3.8 kilometre Indian Ocean swim around the iconic Busselton jetty. Hugging Geograph Bay, the 180 kilometre cycle course is fast and flat. The competitors will complete 3 60 kilometre laps, passing through a series of coastal forests before the finish in Busselton. Finally, it's a 42.2 kilometre marathon run along the Busselton foreshore, with the competitors completing 4 laps. And so to the field for the men's. Plenty of international competitors, including the world record holder Andreas Raelard, the defending race champion Jimmy Johnson, and an Australian challenge led by Luke Bell. In the women's, it's a strong local contingent, but the international competitors, the likes of Elizabeth Lyles and Mareen Hufe, will be ready to mount a serious challenge. The southwest region of Western Australia is renowned for its pristine environment, together with its gourmet food and wine. And many of the Ironman athletes take time out to visit the local wineries in the lead up to the big race.
It's been a great year. This will be, I think, my 4th Ironman for the year, which is quite a lot, but to be able to walk away with Ironman Australia at Port Macquarie earlier in the year and then win the North American Championships at Mont Tremblant sort of in August, you know, I've got an Australian title and a North American title, so, you know, what more can you ask for?
Luke Bell knows he's up against a world-class field.
In the 10-year history, this is the strongest field that Ironman Western Australia has had. We have the world record holder here over the distance in Andreas Raelard from Germany, who's been 2-time Olympian, multiple times on the podium at the World Championships in Hawaii. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 Ironman champions in the field. Another Australian, David Dellow, is here, who's had a quiet year so far, so it could be quite dangerous and fresh. Jeremy Jurkiewicz was out here for Mandurah 70.3 and had an amazing race there. You know, you can sit here and drop names, you know, all day. Spectator-wise, the course is fantastic. It's a 3-loop bike course, 4-loop run, and you know, you've just got that buzz and energy of the crowd contained in, and that's what draws you back every year.
The #1 bib is worn by Andreas Raelard, and the German world record holder knows more than most about winning.
I feel really honored that I'm still the world record holder over the Ironman distance, but every course is very different, and Busselton has some very tough conditions. It's a beautiful race course. The spectators from the outside are cheering for you, so you have a lot of motivation coming from the outside, but deep inside you still have to go through this flat, hard course. And my personal goal is just, first of all, to keep up with the best guys. Of course, I would like to win the race, but as a professional athlete, I can tell you it's going to be very tough. If you are racing on a flat course, you have to push all the time. And in the Ironman race, there will come a point that you will struggle. Everybody starts to struggle. And on a flat course, you still have to push. It's a very decent field. We got Jimmy Johnson, the winner from last year. We got Luke Bell, one of the really big names in the Ironman circuit. There are less 10 other really good guys out there with the potential to win the race. And for myself, I need an extraordinary performance to keep up with the guys.
Kate Bevilacqua, originally from Perth, loves returning to Busselton and Western Australia.
The crowds are very good at supporting everyone out there, but I can tell, that there's a lot of extra support when I'm out there or when any of the locals are running past or riding past, and it's hard not to take that on board and get a lot of extra energy from it as well. Home advantage tomorrow, I'll be taking it for all I can guarantee it. I think tomorrow's conditions are going to be some of the best that we've had here in the 10 years of racing, and with one of the best pro fields of the men and the women. So there could be some pastimes tomorrow that we haven't seen before. I think it's going to come down to the very end, and Liz Lyles has come from the US, and she's a phenomenal runner, and I think she'll run her way towards the front of the race as well. Anyone on that start list can lay claim to, if they put it together, to be there. So I think I'm going to enjoy that aspect of it. I think it means there's going to be a lot of us around all together fighting for the victory. But nothing beats coming home. Just driving within the region, it's hard not to just relax all of a sudden. And you've got the ocean right there. You've got, we've got great places we can ride. You can ride down to Augusta. There's fantastic bakeries around. There's great coffee shops. There's trails to run on, things like that I love. There's breweries. There's chocolate factories. There's just so much that you can do if you're a tourist, or like I said, you can go and relax by the beach. And the beaches are just gorgeous.
It is a special part of Australia, and it's a part of Australia that, worldwide people come to visit.
At this time of year, Western Australia is brimming with Ironmen and visitors alike who attend the popular Margaret River Gourmet Escape. This world-class culinary event combines the best chefs and wine experts from across the globe with breathtaking scenery, gastronomic delights, beautifully cultivated wines and locally grown produce. South African Peter de Vries has been on a remarkable journey. After being paralysed in an accident 10 years ago, it's now his dream to be the first quadriplegic to ever complete an Ironman.
I'm a C6 quadriplegic, and since I had my accident 10 years ago when I broke my neck, a cycling accident, I was a triathlete at that stage. It was just my biggest dream to do an Ironman. I really just have biceps and shoulder muscles and wrist movement. I've got no finger movement, no tricep movement, and completely paralyzed over my whole body. So people just think it's just not possible. It's been a very long journey, but did the half in May, and so I'm going to give it a go.
As if Peter didn't have enough challenges, just 6 weeks before Busselton, Peter broke his left forearm in a training accident.
About 6 weeks ago, I broke my forearm with a guy didn't see me, did a U-turn in front of me. And then again, the doctors told me I shouldn't come and do it. I've got a plate in here now, it's still broken, but taking a bit of a risk. But, I just really felt it's still on the cards for me to do this. And now we're here today, awesome day, and we're going to do it. I think I'm ready.
So the last 6 weeks definitely been challenging. But we both just felt that this is meant to happen. It's been really a team effort, and it's awesome to be so closely part of something as big as this.
Peter now wants to show the world that nothing is impossible.
My wife always tells me I can't say this, but I said if I actually finish my full Ironman, then I can die. It's like for me in the world to me, but for me at the same time. In this whole journey, it's just shown me how we can inspire each other, So me doing this, I inspire people, yes, but by them coming up and telling me, yes, well done, and so on, it absolutely inspires me, probably even more than I inspire them, So we all have that power to inspire, and for me, it's just incredible.
Well, I've got to say we've covered some extraordinary stories over the years in Ironman events all over the world, but Matt Keenan, my co-commentator, that is as extraordinary as it gets.
If any of the professional athletes or the age groupers were looking for a little bit of inspiration, they've found it. The elites are underway. One is missing. Jason Short is one of the veterans of the sport who also happens to be the course record holder.
So the SunSmart Ironman Western Australia Busselton event is underway, and this is one of the great images of the race, the swim out alongside the famous Busselton jetty.
And here's a look at the course. It's a 3.8 kilometre swim. It's a simple out and back, and the conditions are ideal. It's almost a pool swim. The water is so smooth. This is the women getting underway. There is no clear favourite. Around about 7 of them, in fact 7 of them exactly, have won an Ironman event in the past, so they all know that they're contenders.
And a sprinkling of former winners from Busselton across the field that we'll be watching today as Lisa Marangon takes up the head of the field in the swim leg. Well, this race has the reputation for being fast and flat, and that attracts plenty of people. This may be, for many, their first Ironman event. What a place to do it, and what an excitement level. Adrenaline surging now as the swim leg for the bulk of the field gets underway.
Some 1,600 athletes in the age groupers. They're probably a little bit nervous at this point. but they wouldn't want to be because they'll be out there for some of them up to 15, 16 hours. So they'll need to conserve.
10th anniversary of the event here, as we've mentioned, and you go through this and you wonder if this is your first Ironman event. You can do all the training in the world, but to find yourself in the middle of that, what on earth is your strategy?
Nothing prepares you for that. Follow the feet and try and survive. This is Lisa Marangon. She's leading the swim, and the surf lifesaver is just there guiding her away from the jetty.
A lot of support here for Luke Bell. A lot of people believe he can get the job done, and in the swim leg, up now with Jurkiewicz.
It's been a breakout season for Luke Bell. He won his first ever Ironman event in Port Macquarie earlier on in the year. He then went on to collect the Mont Tremblant win as well. But this is Bell's 5th Ironman race for the season. Fatigue will be a factor. A little bit further down, Rayla, one of the big favourites, one of the stars of German triathlon. His first time back in Australia since competing in the Sydney Olympics. Marangon's still leading for the women, one of the local favourites. Kate Bevilacqua is in 2nd spot. She's a former winner of this race. And the defending champion in the men's event, the Danish, as Bell and Jurkiewicz are now extended their lead out to 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's quite a statement early from these lead swimmers with the likes of Guy Crawford and David Dellow in a chase group, if you like, on the swim leg.
David Dellow was noted by Johnson as one of the favourites to win the race because he didn't compete in Hawaii over in Kona, the World Championships of Ironman racing, and he figures that Dellow will come here relatively fresh. So the age groupers now, they've started to thin out somewhat. They've got the open water in front of them. They have a time limit of 2 hours and 20 minutes to be able to finish this 3.8 kilometre swim.
And still Lisa Marangon leading the women. As for the age groupers, over the years here in Busselton, we've had competitors way up into their mid-70s competing in the event, which is a wonderful achievement. As Bell and Jurkiewicz now are ready to hit Barnard Park almost side by side. So big reception for them into transition.
Bell looks relatively composed, but that question mark that has been asked about his condition with what has been a very big season now will come to the fore as he gets ready to head out onto a 180-kilometre bike leg.
Margin of some 70 seconds back to Guy Crawford, David Dellow, Alex Riethmeyer there.
Bell leading out of the swim from Jurkiewicz, Crawford, Dellow, Rathmeyer, Raylett, all the big favourites in the top 10.
And Johnson there in 10th at 49.56, the defending champion. And likewise now, big reception for Lisa Marangon. It's been quite the performance in the 3.8k swim leg, really opening up in an advantage. We are coming to you today from Busselton, Western Australia, the SunSmart Ironman WA, and Jeremy Jurkiewicz is our leader into the bike leg.
Here's a look at the course. It's 3 laps of a 60-kilometre course, so 180 kilometres in total. And as you can see, there's quite a few U-turns on the circuit, which means there's a lot of opportunities to assess how your rivals are faring.
And breeze not a factor, as you see. The competitors get to ride a great distance of this through the Tuart Forest here, so they're protected from any breezes along the coastline.
This is one such example of those U-turns. Jurkiewicz, he looks across, and Bell, although he's not in the slipstream, he's staying very close. This is Andreas Raylett, the big German, who had a disappointing Hawaiian Ironman this year. He had a problem with a nerve issue in his back, so he's looking for redemption in Busselton.
And Lisa Marangon now in full stride as far as the bike is concerned, and really, really confident coming out of the water.
And so she should be, as she came out of the water with almost a 3-minute lead on Kate Bevilacqua, who won this race in 2010. Lyles is in third position. Preston is in fourth. It's then Bremer in fifth. A little bit further down the list, Thomschke, the winner of Ironman Port Macquarie earlier on this year, is in seventh spot. Here's Michelle Bremer.
Yeah, up to second right now.
And Liz Lyles is making some progress. This is an athlete who has a really strong reputation as a brilliant runner.
Well, certainly no intention there to stick together and work as some sort of team. Lyles deciding to make some sort of break, get into third position.
This is the men's leader. As we look at Jurkiewicz now, a rider, well, a triathlete who has been a winner of an Ironman event in the past. Bell is still sitting in second spot. This is Ray Lert now, one of the stars of the sport. As you can see, 37 years of age. He's been on the podium in Hawaii no less than 5 times, but he's missed the big win.
And that's world record time, 2011, 7:41:33. For mere mortals like myself, you say, how do you do that? So here they are out on this fast and flat bike leg. And when you get back into the crowd, this is one of the features of Busselton, getting to get up close, get that little surge of energy provided by the support as well.
Here comes Ray Lert, the big German.
And Ray Lert, as you mentioned, the disappointment from Hawaii, you do wonder about, does that strengthen you mentally? Does it drive him even further? I mean, at some point today, would he be fearing the twinge, feeling the pain?
Oh, he'll be very conscious of how he is physically. Here's a look at how they stand. Jurkiewicz and Bell effectively together. Ray Lert and Dellow at a little over 2 minutes behind.
And still Marangon on her own in the women's, and not surrounded by any of the men's competitors either. Bremer still holding down second position.
One of the big challenges of the bike leg is thinking about the run leg. And Jurkiewicz with Bell still sitting behind him. Bell is letting the Frenchman, who's only 25 years of age, do all the work. So Bell is using his experience. The Frenchman looks confident. Here's Liz Lyles, the mother of 2, has moved up into third position. And you can still see that very high cadence. She's pedaling smoothly.
And back to Dellow, Crawford and Riethmeyer now, third, fourth and fifth behind our front 2.
They're working well together. David Dellow, one of the pre-race favourites, a winner of the Noosa Triathlon a couple of years ago, and he's been a top 10 finisher in Hawaii.
And Lisa Marangon, 33 years of age, is a winner here in Busselton, but not over the Ironman distance. In fact, if she was to chalk up a victory today, this would be new territory for her in any Ironman event.
Well, for Lisa Marangon, it is an impressive CV, but it identifies the key question mark hanging over her head. She's won the half Ironman distance, but not the full, so distance will be the big challenge for her.
Absolutely is now. This is one of the real features of a loop course where we've got Dellow and Crawford and Riethmeyer. They will pass first and second on the other side of the road. Now, we're getting news from out on the course that Ray Lert has got problems, and it's more than just the bike that's a problem.
Oh, it is a big problem. It's the same issue that he had in Hawaii with the world record holder for the Ironman distance, Ray Lert, complaining about a problem with his back once again. That is bad news for the 37-year-old. This is Liz Lyles, who's still in third place, but she is closing in. She's riding very strongly. Technical skills on the bike, not great, as we saw by that corner. But once she's out on the flat open road, she is very quick. This is Mareen Hufe, the German, who's coming through in fourth spot.
So that order, Marangon, Bremer, Lyles, Hufe, the front 4.
Hufe and Lyles working their way up the leaderboard.
Still a long, long way to go at the SunSmart Ironman, Western Australia. Here at Ironman Western Australia, and the extraordinary story of Peter Dupree's continues.
It was good, eh? It came out exactly as planned, under 1 hour 40, so very good. So far, so good, eh? I'm going to go at it as hard as I can. I trained for it, so... But, I mean, everything is on schedule, so I'm confident that I can still do this. So, weather's good, good for me, so can't complain about anything. It's just up to me to do it.
Well, I do believe you'll need to get me another thesaurus, Matt, because I can't find the words. I mean, the swim, saying good swim, 1 hour 39.
Plenty of the able-bodied athletes in the age group would be very happy with that. Luke Bell doesn't look too happy. Looks as if he's suffering from a little bit of cramp. Not enough Gatorade, perhaps.
Yeah, well, look, we saw no such problems with his win at Port Macquarie. And what he did back there, this is what Lisa Marangon has for her today, is now Bell has to, again, like self-administration of your own medical treatment when you're out on the bike. Not easy.
Sorry, gents, I'm done.
Done?
ITB's gone. My knee is killing me. I don't know, it's just sharp pain on the outside of the knee. It's just building and building. Now it's excruciating. It's racing. Body's done.
Well, it's all over for Luke Bell. It wasn't cramp. He's just turning around now, trying to get back into Busselton. A problem with the ITB band up the left-hand side of his leg. So it's time for a rest. Dellow now up in a second place, Crawford third, but they've got a lot of ground to make up on the Frenchman, Jeremy Jurkiewicz.
Yeah, and Jurkiewicz wouldn't be aware of what has happened behind him there.
He will be when he turns around. Once he gets that U-turn point, he'll look across and think, where on earth is Luke Bell? He's gone back to Busselton. And a change at the front in the women's race. This is Michelle Bremer that's moved to the front. She's on terms now with Marangon, and she's got a big smile on her face, rightly so.
Yeah, well, that belies the work that she has put in so far. She has got a smile like a split watermelon, Bremer, and I don't know what Marangon would be feeling right at the moment. I mean, things were going so well for her.
She just has to ignore Bremer, who is a past winner here, and just ride to what her body is telling her. This is Mareen Hufe, the German. She's closed into third place and is still moving very well. This is David Dellow, top 10 finisher at the Hawaiian Ironman last year. He is making his way up through the group. He's with Crawford, so he's got some company to keep, but the gap now to Jurkiewicz is large. It's more than 5 minutes their deficit. The Frenchman, just 25 years of age. He's weighing in at 71 kilograms. There's not a lot of him. He has won an Ironman event in the past. That was in Wales in 2011. But significantly, he was 14th in the Hawaiian Ironman last year.
Yeah, big day for him, for Jurkiewicz, and he spent an entire month here with his family, just getting ready for the event and having a bit of downtime as well, as we go back through the field, and all of these competitors with a big day still ahead of them.
Speaking of big, it takes all shapes and sizes. Wow. This is Stephen Want. His nickname is the Lunchbox. His ambition is to drop a few kilos.
I love him.
This is Hufe now on the right-hand side. She's caught Bremer. She's moving herself up into second position. The German is very strong on the bike.
Yeah, well, that is a big move indeed from the smiling Bremer that we saw not so long ago.
She's running the compression socks. She's up in a second position. I think the compression socks are psychological as much as they are physical. This is Crawford and Dellow now in second and third position, respectively.
They're taking all care at the hairpin as it comes around the roundabout. Again, those big crowds, perfect weather here. Just absolutely fantastic today in Busselton.
And a nice bit of inspiration for the age groupers who get passed by the elite. Here he is, the Frenchman, Jeremy Jurkiewicz. 2 minutes and 51 seconds now his advantage. Dellow and Crawford together. It's then Rathmeyer in fourth spot. It's a lonely old road for the 25-year-old. And in the women's race, Lisa Marangon has re-established herself at the front of affairs. She was caught momentarily by Bremer, who's now slipped back down to third as the German Hufe is trying to close in. She sits in second. And this is the catch at the front. The German Hufe is on terms with Marangon. You can see that lead motorbike with the pink flag. That indicates that she is the leader of the women's race. Crawford in the white colours. We've seen a lot of him sitting in second spot.
Well, it's hard to know what to predict in light of the two major withdrawals in this men's field. Beautiful shot across the Busselton jetty, and our leader is about to head into transition with a marathon to come. Big cheer for him, and he is putting on a bit of a show so far today.
Well, he's just got himself with his thoughts and listening to his body. It's a lonely old road now for Jeremy Jurkiewicz. 42 kilometres remaining. The 25-year-old looks like he's got a little bit of a spring in his step. Race leader Mareen Hufe pointing in the direction she needs to go. It's that way, Busselton.
All right, at the moment we're on target for a European double with these two performing so well. Jurkiewicz, is there any hurry in transition?
Well, not with the size of the lead that he's currently got. He's better off just taking his time, staying relaxed and getting the transition right. More nutrition going on board for Hufe as we look at Marangon, who's been the race leader for so long. She slipped to second, but Lyles, the American, is in third and looking very convincing.
Yeah, real good there, Liz Lyles. Burton will come into transition second. That has been an outstanding bike leg from Burton.
Burton has done the bike leg of the day. The quickest on the bike. He was slow out of the swim. He now moves up in a second as Crawford and White make their way through. Here's Thomschke, who's been riding strongly also.
So out of transition with our leader, Jurkiewicz, in the Sunsmart Ironman Western Australia. We are on the run home here in Busselton, but it has to be stressed, it is a long run home. And our lead competitor on the marathon leg right now, Jeremy Jurkiewicz, has had an outstanding day, but can he get the job completed?
Well, Jurkiewicz, it's a lonely day from here. This is Maddie White, who went into transition in fourth and has come out in second spot. He's been quick into the shoes. A look at the course, it's 42 kilometres, 4 laps of slightly over 10 Ks per lap, but it is effectively perfectly flat. And as we've mentioned throughout the day, the conditions are perfect. Matt Burton, who was very strong on the bike, he's in third spot.
And the number of times that they run past Barnard Park, where the crowd is at its biggest, is a great fillip for the competitors.
Markus Thomschke is into fourth position. David Dellow is fifth. Jurkiewicz, you mentioned earlier, he's been out here for a month acclimatising to the conditions. There's his lead, just under 4 minutes. He's been out there for 5 hours and 18 minutes thus far. Burton, Crawford, White, Thomschke, the top 5 as they headed into transition.
So close, as you saw there from the bike leg, second, third and fourth. Hufe is the leader, the German in the women's, and Marangon in second, still to get to transition.
And she's charging towards transition. She was leading out onto the bike. She had a very strong swim. She's fading slightly on the bike, but this woman is doing anything but. Lyles, the American, is starting to close in.
Well, every shot we've seen of Lyles, she's looked particularly strong. That it's certainly not over in the women's.
Here's Maddie White in second spot. It's nutrition time. Get the power bars and the Gatorade into the system. Burton in third.
And focus is straight ahead for the runners. What a grueling day, and helped in some parts by grey skies overhead. A little bit of cloud cover. Certainly welcome relief.
Here's a look at the status in the women's race. Hufe is leading by just on 3 minutes from Marangon. Then Lyles is in third position. Bremer in fourth. Bevlacqua in fifth place, but she looked a little bit vulnerable out on the bike.
So Hufe, now the compression socks. It may win you over today, Matt, the compression socks, if Hufe can get the job done from here.
And here's the American mother of two, Liz Lyles, currently in third spot. She is running very strongly and she has a reputation as an outstanding runner. Her first triathlon back in 2002, 16th in Hawaii this year. But look at that time for the half marathon, a personal best of 1 hour and 19 minutes. That is super quick.
She took 4 years off for the birth of her 2 children. That's a fair slab of an athlete's career to sit it out, and she's come back bigger and better, it has to be said.
It wasn't until after the birth of her 2 children that she actually became a professional triathlete. Lisa Marangon, we spoke about her earlier, the question mark being distance. She's only won over the half Ironman distance, proving to be the case. She's looking vulnerable in the marathon. Jurkiewicz, though.
Well, I know it sounds a bit of a contradiction, but even if Marangon was to hang on and claim a podium finish. It's a victory of sorts today, I believe, for her on what we've seen here.
White looks as if he is starting to labour.
Yeah, that has to be said. Underneath the red cap there. He's well back from Jurkiewicz, and now will the pressure come from, well, the three you can see here, Burton, and not too far back to Dellow and Thomschke. Dellow and Thomschke looking better than Burton.
It was Thomschke in the white colours, who was outside the top 10 after the swim, moved to 5th on the bike and is moving up towards 3rd. Mareen Hufe continues to lead the women's race. This will be a chance for her to look across, assess the condition of Marangon, but then what will make her a little bit nervous is when she sees the American Liz Lyles. This is David Dellow from Noosa. He will like the warm conditions. Despite the fact that he has the complexion for the cold, the hotter it is, the better he will perform. Thomschke sitting just behind him in the white colours. And now we see Jurkiewicz catching the leader of the women's race, Hufe, who's one lap up.
Well, that is a rare shot, isn't it, to have them there, the two leaders of men's and women's here.
And a Frenchman leading the men's race and a German leading the women's race. A strong international field.
Here comes Dellow. Dellow in the red is closing in. He's going to get up to 2nd. I would think not too far away. This is West Australian Brant Garvey. I like this fella's style and his attitude with what he's had to contend with during his life. He says that he likes to tell people that he lost his leg bungee jumping. And they go, wow, really? And he goes, yeah, he just plays along with it. And no, he's been born that way, and he's made do with what he's got and what he hasn't.
It's a fabulous attitude, and it really typifies the Ironman event, as it is with the rest of the age groupers. It's just about overcoming personal obstacles.
Well, as predicted, Dellow has gone past White, and it's almost White would be saying, well, good luck, old chum.
I'm not sure whether he'll be offering too much encouragement. He might want to, but I don't know if he's got the energy to. Dellow now up into 2nd position, catching a few of the age groupers. Elizabeth Lyles in 3rd and closing quickly.
Yeah, loved every bit of the work of Liz Lyles so far today. The run, Jurkiewicz ahead of Dellow, White, Thomschke, Burton and Israel. That is the order right now.
Here's the leader with a 3-minute and 52-second advantage at this point. And for the first time, he's getting a little bit of company, but they're not with him for very long, the age groupers.
You do wonder when, as you see Dellow again, but Jurkiewicz at his age, 25 years of age, what if he is around for as long as some of our elite Ironmen in the world circuit? I mean, 35, 36, 37. I mean, how many will he compete in?
That's the prime of an Ironman athlete's career, is into that 30 mark. This is White in the white colours, Thomschke just in front of him, and Lyles stuck in the middle. So 2nd place or 3rd place in the women's race is amongst some of the leaders in the men's, and that will be good pacing for her to close in on the race leader.
Lyles has moved up to 2nd now. Look, I'm not a betting person on an Ironman event because you never really know with any great confidence what's going to happen, but I think she's going to make a statement right at the end of this race somehow.
Well, you could see how fluid she looked by the comparison of Marangon, who's now down in the 3rd spot. This is Mareen Hufe. She's got a big target on her back, the German, and it's the American who is coming for her.
He wants cola. He's demanding cola.
He's desperate, not happy with that result.
Wow.
He needs nutrition. That is an indication that he is not convinced that he's got the race sewn up, despite the fact he's got a strong lead. And Hufe, the German, has been caught by the American Lyles, who now goes to the front of the race.
What a moment that is. Elizabeth Lyles, you could say you saw it. K's and K's back. She has been so good. Whatever mentally is upset Jurkiewicz now, he has to not worry about that. Put that in another space.
Well, he's got the grimace on the face. This is Thomschke in the white. He's moved up into 2nd position. He's conceded 1st by the looks of it. He's just trying to fend off David Dellow in red, who's in 3rd.
This man is proudest of all, and he can put on a show, as he's done before at a finish in celebration. 25-year-old, the Frenchman, Jurkiewicz is going to win here at Busselton. He's dancing and celebrating all the way up the final run, screaming to the heavens. It's certainly not a straight line to the finish. He's all over the track, let me tell you. But there it is, our winner of Ironman Western Australia, Jeremy Jurkiewicz.
He looked as if he didn't want it quite to finish, soaking up the atmosphere as he takes out Busselton 2013. This is Thomschke, who's on target for second place. Dellow fending off a position on the podium in third.
Yeah, great performance by the German. Big mover. Thomschke claims second, and he will very much feel like a winner. It was a wonderful performance. And Dellow third, the first of the Australians. A big performance.
Very happy. My best time before, 8 hours and 19 minutes. And here, 8 hours, 8 minutes is crazy. I'm very happy.
Pretty sure he'll be back, and maybe more than once. Jeremy Jurkiewicz, 8:08.15 the winning time. And Thomschke second, 8:16 flat. And Dellow, 8:19.09. Israel and White round out the top 5.
So it was France, Germany, Australia in the men's race, an international podium, as it's an American leading the women's. Elizabeth Lyles, and she's challenging the course record, as Mareen Hufe is just trying to hold on now for second.
Well, that's the interest now, isn't it? Lyles is going to get the job done, but she may, in fact, break the course record here. What a performance it is after the swimlet. Gina Crawford holds the race record. It may be about to go, perhaps not, but Lyles, the mother of two, again, 4 years out of the sport. She's come back a professional triathlete and now a second Ironman victory. And what a way to do it in a class of her own.
I was hoping to just, once I made the pass for first, I just was like maintain first. And then I knew 9 was within reach, so the last couple miles I just tried to count off in my head. So that became my second goal, kind of.
Been plenty of stories to tell out of the run leg, and Hufe, well, she's got the reaction of a winner, hasn't she?
And so she should. She's been brilliant, as too has Marangon in third position. And they were beaten by a woman who was just 19 seconds short of the course record.
So one Aussie in each of the top 3 men's and women's. In the women's, Lyles time 8:59.43, 9:07.59 for Hufe, Marangon 9:19.28. Almost 10 hours into the race, and there are still over 1,500 competitors out on the course. After a 3.8 kilometre swim, a 180k cycle, it's now a 42.2 kilometre run along the spectacular Busselton foreshore before the finish. Now in its 10th year, the SunSmart Ironman is known as the People's Race. The event is warmly embraced by the local Busselton community, who are again out in force to drive the athletes home. As the West Australian sun continues to beat down, the race continues to take its toll. It's at this late stage in the race that all the training and preparation come into play, and everything from here on is just about finishing. And so 13 hours and 20 minutes later, against all the odds, Peter de Vries is the first quadriplegic to ever complete an Ironman. For Peter, it's been an incredibly emotional journey.
You know, I was tired, but it's like, you know, you're going to finish it. I just knew I was going to do it. So, yeah, the support just carried me. It was incredible. My time, I just can't believe I did 13 hours 20, breaking my arm 6 weeks ago. It's unbelievable. And the support on the course was incredible. Just grateful for the Ironman guys allowing me to do the race. And, yeah, yes, I'm a bit lost for words.
It's just a huge achievement. All the hours, yeah.
The most amazing thing for me is, you know, this is something nobody can ever take away from me and nobody can ever do. I'm the first quad in the world ever to do this, and actually still can't believe it, man. It's incredible, eh? Yeah, I think it's the most emotional moment of my life, eh?